Mics?
Camera? Welcome to another episode of Takaro Kids. Kiran and I are going to talk about a lot of fun stories today. We are not going to talk about the war that's happening around us. We're not going to talk about any serious, boring things. We're going to go to space.
We're going to go to space, we're going to come back to Earth, and then stay on Earth maybe.
Yeah.
All science, tech, space, everything.
Cool. So let's start with space. We were talking about this mission. Remember we spoke about how we are sending astronauts back into space again? Well,
Not just back into space, we're sending them to the moon.
Which has happened long ago. It hasn't happened in the recent past. This time we're talking about Artemis 2. It was supposed to take off, I think, last month, but then it got stuck.
I think it was supposed to launch in Feb. It got moved to March, and now they finally said it'll be in April. So
Specifically April Fool's Day, actually.
Ooh, on the 1st of April?
Yeah.
Okay then, let's hope it's not a prank or an April Fool's Day joke. But it is exciting, and a lot of y'all have asked us what the update is with Artemis 2. So that's the basic update. Let's wait for April to see if it launches, and then, see their entire journey around the moon.
Yeah, 4 astronauts are going. And do we know any of those astronauts, Kiran?
I don't, personally. Okay. So, moving on from the moon further into space, we have a very, very important telescope called the James Webb Space Telescope, right? It has been super useful for us because it's been giving us a lot of insight into the space around Earth and the solar system, like really far out. And they just found a new planet or an exoplanet, planets which are just outside the solar system. They found a new planet and they called it L9859d. What a cool name.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad that they give numbers to planets. I'm sure they can come up with a better name. I'm sure you can come up with a better name for this planet once we tell you a little bit more about it. Now, this exoplanet, like you said, not part of the solar system, just outside of it, is basically one giant ocean of hot melted rock, which is magma. Now remember, the Earth also has magma in its core, right? The Earth has many layers, and there's a layer of molten rock called magma, which usually comes out when we have a volcano erupting. The magma comes out. Once the magma comes out, it becomes lava. So this planet is made up of that stuff, that liquid, burning, orange-red thing. And there's one very special feature.
Yep.
What is that?
It basically may smell like rotten eggs.
Yummy.
Brilliant, right? Imagine living in a planet which smells like rotten eggs.
You can't live there.
You can't live there because it's fundamentally full of sulfur, which is the gas that the magma is kind of emitting. And so, L9859d is rotten eggs.
Yeah.
But
did you ever do this experiment in school?
Yes, many times. Yeah.
So,
in fact, the chemistry lab very often smelled of rotten eggs.
Because that was one of my favorite experiments as well. You should find out what you need to mix in order to get that rotten egg sulfur smell, okay? Do that homework and let us know. Meanwhile, yes, come up with some names for this planet because clearly it needs a better one than L9859d.
Yep.
Something that is not mean, but, well suited to all its different characteristics.
And to round it off, the reason this is important is because now we're starting to find out that planets can be of different types. It need not be just rock. It need not be just gas. This one is full of hot molten magma. So it's liquid, but it's not solid. It has gases. So I think it was a very important discovery that, planets can be of different types. Obviously, it doesn't have life, or at least that we know of.
Not the kind of life that we know of, yes.
But it's interesting.
Now we are going to come back from space, back to Earth as promised. One of the things that we're going to be talking about is energy. Now remember, we need energy for everything. The whole world needs energy to work. One of the things, unfortunately, that's happening right now, if you listen to our previous episode, we spoke about fuel and how there's a problem because Iran has blocked a lot of fuel supplies around the world. But there are other ways of getting energy, and one of them is batteries.
Correct. EVs, electric cars, but it's also been a big bone of contention because EVs and electric cars, there are many...
EVs are electric vehicles, okay?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And there are many components to making it. And the battery is the main sort of component. But, you need rare earth, which is basically dug from earth. You need ions, which will basically power and charge up the batteries. And one of the important discoveries over the last couple of weeks is that there may be a better way to make batteries less expensive and potentially more ecologically friendly.
Yeah. And believe it or not, it is actually this ingredient that is going to go into making these cool new batteries is available in every single home.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you can start making these batteries, not as yet anyway, but it's basically made out of sodium, and sodium is found in...
Ooh, what do you put on eggs?
Or in all your food.
Yeah, I mean, little salt.
Salt.
Sodium is salt. Yeah.
Sodium is found in salt. So therefore, can you imagine, it's so much easier to find this ingredient, and therefore you can make affordable batteries, and it can become a proper source of alternative energy, which is, like you said, better for the planet.
Yep.
And better for people in general.
And in fact, lithium-ion batteries have basically had a problem that when it becomes freezing cold, it starts reducing its sort of output. But what's interesting is salt is used in all countries where there is snowfall and where there is freezing up of water.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Find out and tell us. What is sodium chloride, which is salt, used in cold countries where it's snowing?
Maybe that should be the quiz question.
I think we've already asked quite a few questions, so
Yeah.
feel free to send them in, and we might just pick officially, somebody who sent in all the correct answers from this episode.
Or one.
Or
We'll see.
it's always a lucky winner. But yeah, this is again a fun fact. So just look it up. Why do countries where it snows use salt, and why do they sprinkle it on the streets, for example? There's a hint there. Think about it and let us.
And so therefore, these sodium-ion batteries now will actually be much better in freezing cold weather. So lots of advantages if this actually works out and is scalable so that it can become a part of more batteries.
Yeah, and the other thing, the other cool discovery, which is also going to be better for the planet, is what scientists have found now is that when they mix a little bit of water into diesel. Now, diesel is a fossil fuel. Diesel is used to run a lot of cars. A lot of cars around the world still run on two types of gas, which is one is diesel, the second is petrol. So what scientists have found is that when they mixed a little bit of water into diesel, it actually became more efficient. The
Yep.
fuel burnt better, and it cut down on a lot of pollution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is between diesel and petrol is that diesel actually is worse for the air around you than petrol. I mean, both are terrible. But diesel actually emits something called nitrogen oxide. Less carbon dioxide, but more nitrogen oxide. And the problem is nitrogen oxide actually is detrimental to the environment
To
around
human
you.
health as well.
Yeah. So it's way worse. And while diesel gives better mileage, you need less diesel to go longer and further. That diesel is worse from the pollution perspective. And so this particular discovery, I mean, you just add a few drops of water and it can reduce that pollution by 60%. That is huge. That means we can get cheaper cars and cheaper fuel, go further and reduce the amount of pollution as well.
But again, this doesn't mean that you can go in and open up your tank and start adding
yes.
water. Please don't
Please
do
don't do
that.
that.
Never do that. This is still something that scientists are working on. This is what they found right now, but it's not something that can be used at this stage, right? We can't just go in and do things like this. But it's good to know. What is good to know is that a lot of people, researchers and scientists around the world, are working on solutions to make sure that we all have access to energy and make sure that it's better for the world in general as well, right? So I think this is all good stuff happening around us. Should we wrap up this episode? But we won't go without giving you the actual quiz question. I mean, we've asked you a couple of questions already, and we'd love to hear from you
Yeah.
once you found the answers. But the actual quiz question for this episode of Takaro Kids is, why don't you be quizmaster today, Kiran?
What? I finally get it. What gas smells like rotten eggs? We gave you the answer if you were listening. The options are nitrogen, sulfur, helium, or carbon monoxide. And it's something that you should go and figure out.
Yeah, so you have
Send us your answers on takarokids.com or on Instagram as a direct message. Ask your parents to send it to us. And it doesn't need to be the first. It doesn't need to be the last entry. It doesn't need to be your 100th entry. One lucky winner will be chosen to get a gift certificate and other goodies.
That's right. And on that note, we will also reveal the winner of last week's quiz question. We asked, and it was a very, very, very straightforward one. We asked, what type of leader holds the highest authority in Iran? And the options that we gave you were King, Prime Minister, Supreme Leader, and Sheikh. The correct answer is...
King. No, it's not.
No.
Prime Minister. No, it's not. Okay. Sheikh. No.
He just gave you all the wrong answers, which means the right answer is Supreme Leader. And the winner, the person who got the right answer is...
And the lucky winner is Aarav from Delhi.
Congratulations.
Aarav.
Well done, well
Your
done.
gift certificate and other goodies are gonna reach you soon. And in the meantime, make sure you tell us what gas smells like rotten eggs and send us the answers. And until next week, it is bye-bye.
Goodbye.